right, turning now to our first alert weather, and it is going to be a weather alert day, first alert weather alert day, because we've got a couple of things going on in different parts of North Texas.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. The system that's moving its way in is going to be really increasing the fire danger out west, and then the dry land as it moves east, increasing the threat for some isolated strong to severe storms. There's a red flag warning going into effect at noon, remains in effect until 8 for the west sides of North Texas. Now, the isolated storm chances between about 4 to 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock east of the 35 corridor, right along it, then east. The first alert weather day today, and also for Friday because of the elevated fire danger, and we have possible winds gusting to 55 miles per hour on Friday. So speaking of that first alert weather day for today, it's because of that red flag warning, the afternoon isolated storms. Let's walk you through the red flag warning first. You can see it's the west sides of North Texas with winds out of the west at 15 to 25, gusting to 30. But look at that, the humidity dropping down to 10%. So it's very dry air that's in place. Any vegetation that hasn't been able to green up is going to dry out, and that's just fuel for some fires to get going. Now, the dew point, what's interesting right now, is in the 50s to the low 60s. But the dry line is going to continue to push its way to the east, and by the time we get to 4 or 5 o'clock, right over the 35 corridor, that boundary is going to allow us to see the potential of a couple of storms develop right along it as we go into the afternoon hours. The high resolution model showing about 4 to 5 o'clock, maybe a couple spotty showers. By the time we get to between maybe 5:30 and 6, we could see some of those isolated storms get going, and they continue to shift their way east by the time we get closer towards 7, then by 8, making their way off to the north and east. We have a cap in place. That's that lid on the atmosphere. Now, if the storms are able to punch through the cap, we could see some large hail and damaging winds is the biggest threat. The tornado threat's very low if we see these storms develop. So that's the first thing that we're looking at. And also, we're looking at really warm temperatures, 69 degrees right now. You can see people out and about enjoying this. No coats on. South winds holding on at 14. We have temperatures right now that are sitting in the mid-70s in Breckenridge to 70 in Athens to 68 in Terrell, in the upper 60s to low 70s across the Metroplex. We will warm our way into the low to the mid 80s later on today. That chance for any precip is about 20%. Here's that pollen forecast that Karen mentioned I was going to let you know about. High category today, tomorrow, and Friday. Yeah, no big changes on the way for us. But on Friday, there's another first alert weather day, and this is because of winds gusting up to 45 to 55 and a critical fire threat. So we just want to remind you of that. The humidity, again, down to 10%, dry brush and grass, temperatures 80 to 85, mainly the west sides of North Texas. Again, south-southwest winds up to about 55 miles per hour possible. So we want to remind you, don't toss out cigarette butts, don't park on dry grass or shrubs, be extra cautious when barbecuing. Look at the first alert futurecast wind gust forecast. You can see winds possibly gusting up to near 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's non-thunderstorm damaging wind gusts possible going into Friday afternoon, mainly the northwest sides of North Texas, but all of us are going to be very breezy to windy as we go through Friday afternoon into Friday night. That then tapers off. Cold front's going to move through. It's a dry frontal passage, so it will cool us down. But before that, we're at 86 Thursday, Friday 81. Then that cools us down. We'll be in the low 70s Saturday and Sunday into next week. Temperatures back up to the 80s and another breezy one by next Tuesday, Karen.